Welcome everyone in part 3 of Xerath Guide by Shushei. Shushei is me, hello. The part 3 will feature skills and items. This is what we'll be talking about in this part. So let's go right to it. First, well, I don't need to go into custom game anymore because Riot made this awesome skill preview. So let's talk about his passive first. His passive restores some mana on your auto hit. I think the cooldown of the passive is around 12 seconds, but I'm not entirely sure. You would have to check that yourself. I think it's 10 or 12 seconds, and I think the time doesn't change, but the amount increases. And also the important thing here, if you hit the champion, it restores twice as much mana as it would for a minion. I think level 1 it's 30 mana on minion and 60 mana on champion. As you can see, there's a lot of mana to gain on these auto attacks. Now the second spell, probably your main ability that you will be spamming a lot, is charged Q. I mean, you channel for a moment as your range increases. You can check, like first it's so small, then it's so big, and then on your second tap, or if you're if you're using smart cast on a release of the button, you, after a short delay, I believe it's like half a second, maybe a second, it hits every enemy in a straight lane. The W spell is a circle that actually got two circles, one smaller one and the bigger one. If you hit with the smaller one, you deal increased damage and also apply slow to the enemies affected by the... Well, the slow is on both, on the smaller and bigger one. No, actually no, the slow is only on the smaller one. Sorry, my bad. And the last normal spell is E, which is you're shooting a ball in a straight lane that hits first target, and the farther it travels, it stands for longer. So in a point blank range, I believe it's 0.75 stun, and on the max range it's either 1.75 or 1.5 second. I'm not sure here because they tweaked the number, and I'm sorry for that. And your ultimate is a long range artillery. You become immobile for 3 shots, and then you have 3 shots of your ultimate. The range increases with the level. Level 1 it's not so big, and then level 2 it's bigger, and level 3 it's like almost half the map. Almost. So yeah, now let's talk about items. I prepared an item set for Xerath. So, you have 2 ways to start him with. You can go for Spell Thief Edge at start, or for Doran's Ring. The difference in this is... wait, I actually forgot to do one thing here, but I will do it quick. This is actually core item right now. So, you want this to get fast. So you can start with Spell Thief or with the Doran's Ring. Eventually, you don't need Spell Thief. You can, late game, you can change it for something that gets more AP, like, I don't know, like Mask or maybe some defensive item. But it's actually a nice utility item for the early to mid game, if you can finish those goals, that is. So, you start with Spell Thief Edge and 3 potions, or Doran's Ring and 2 potions. The difference is with Spell Thief Edge you actually have less mana regen than with Doran's Ring, and you need to manage your mana properly with that item. That also means you will have less Qs and Ws to poke your enemy, especially if he will be the pushing type and you will need to use your spells to outpush yourself. On first back, ideally you would want to get Needlessly Large Rod. If you can't, or if you're playing against hard opponent, you can try to go for either Boots of Speed and Fiendish Codex, or try to go for Zonia, but I will talk about it a bit later. Then the core build is Ghosts, I mean Frostqueen Claim, Luden's Echo, Rabadon's Death Cap, Sork Shoes, and Voice Staff. If you don't feel you need the extra penetration, you can go for the Ionion's Boots of Mobility first. Yeah, I mean instead of boots. So the order, how to build these items. If you're having early advantage, I would suggest going Luden's Echo first with Frostqueen's Claim closely. Like Frostqueen Claim might be first, then Luden's Echo, then Boots, then Rabadon's and Void Stuff. You would have to do Rabadon, Void Stuff before Rabadon in case that your enemies had a lot of magic resist. For example, if enemy mid laner went for Abyssal, you could go Luden's Echo, Frostqueen Claim, and Void Staff, then try to get Rabadon. Or if you need more survivability, instead of Rabadon, you can go for Ryleys, Rod of Ages, or Zonia. But the thing with Rod of Ages is, if you want to go Rod of Ages in that game, you should build it instead of Luden's Echo. I mean, not instead, but in the before Luden's Echo. Let's say it that way. You should always have these five items, and then you can choose either one of defensive or one of offensive. I normally choose Maciej. I have these items and Maciej. The weak side of this build is that I don't have any magic, any cooldown reduction, or any defenses. But if you have good protection in team, you really don't need to have defensive items, because you will just poke out your enemy and secure easy objectives when they are going back to heal. Thank you for watching this part, and be sure to tune for next part, which will feature laning.